Welcome to Cox OC Connection. This is Civic Connection and I'm Lacy Kelly. I'm excited to welcome today Tina Javid, who is the Regional Public Affairs Manager for the Southern California Gas Company. Welcome, Tina.
Hi, thank you for having me, Lacy.
You bet. Well, let's start broad. Tell us what should our viewers know about the gas company and the natural gas industry?
Okay, well, for starters, we are the largest natural gas distribution company in the nation. So when I say that, our footprint goes from San Diego up into Central California. So we have 22,000 miles of service territory.
Wow.
We have over 100,000 miles of pipe that we actively maintain and use to bring service to all of our customers. So we have 8,000 employees that are dedicated. We've been in business for 140 years and our goal has remained the same. It's safe, reliable energy at an affordable cost. So
Great.
that's us in a nutshell.
How can you not like that?
I know
140 years, that's a long time. I imagine things have changed a lot in the business since it started. What is really big that's happening in the Southern California Gas Company right now?
Well, you know, it's really an incredibly exciting time for the gas company, really on two fronts. One from just a structural infrastructure standpoint and the other from a policy standpoint. So first, when we talk about infrastructure, when you look for the next 5 years, the gas company, we filed our rate case, we're going to be investing over $5 billion in infrastructure. So, you know, that's a lot of money and that means a lot of construction, and that, you know, for California as a whole, that's good for the economy. You just start looking at this is real work, real tangible work that we're going to see something at the end of it. So we're going to be investing in our system to make it safer, to bring more services to our customers. So we're really excited about that, and we're incredibly busy with all that. Then you switch over and you look more globally and you start looking at what does that mean as far as our energy source and how do we play in this big market. And I think at this point in time, the gas company is getting a lot of recognition as the fuel that's going to help us meet all those goals. You know, you look at California and you start saying we have a lot of environmental goals that we have to achieve, and we know that gas company is going to play a really critical role in making all that happen. So it's exciting. It's a great time to be in this business and in this industry.
Absolutely, and energy is a huge issue anyway in California, so you guys are a big part of that. That's an interesting point. I heard President Obama call gas the bridge fuel, natural gas the bridge fuel.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, when he's come out in his platform and when he addressed the State of the Union, he spent quite a bit of time talking about energy. And we know that he's definitely very in favor of renewables. You know, how do we get wind, solar? And he looks to natural gas to be kind of that bridge to get us there. And we would agree with that. We think that's incredibly important, but we would take it one step further. And we say that we're so much more important than being a bridge fuel. We really look at ourselves as being a foundational fuel. You know, you look at just here in the United States, they've recently said that we have a 100-year supply of natural gas. So that's amazing. I mean, that's domestic energy. So we're going to look at it. It's affordable, it's clean. You know, there's going to be so many different ways in how we use that energy, not only to provide services we provide now, but new services, new ways of doing things that are just going to be good, you know, for, I say California because we're here, but it's really good for the whole nation.
Sure. Okay, so you said something really important, clean energy, and I know there's some misunderstandings about what constitutes clean energy and what doesn't. Natural gas is in fact a clean energy, correct?
Absolutely.
Can you explain that to our viewers?
Sure. You know, we are a fossil fuel. So, you know, when people think clean, they say wind, solar. But in reality, when you burn natural gas, it's near zero emissions. So it is clean.
Sure.
So, and with all kinds of new ways of looking at things, they're looking at biogas. So that's a new technology that they're going to introduce. We're looking at ways that you can take gas and it could be part of a system and then reuse steam to do other things. So people are getting so much more sophisticated with how they're using our fuels that it absolutely is considered clean. You look at cars, natural gas vehicles.
Sure.
So many fleets are switching over to that. So that's, again, positive for this environment.
Sure. Okay. So how are you partnering with local elected officials and local communities with regards to all these changes and shifting in the energy community?
Okay, well, you know, I would take it first mostly at the local level, just with the work that we're doing. As I said, we're investing a lot in infrastructure. So if I could reach out to our partners when we look at cities and we roll out technology, we don't like doing it alone. We view ourselves as a partner to the cities. So we come to you and we look at, say, our advanced meter program. That's something the gas company's investing over $1 billion to be able to allow our customers to have next day information. So it's basically automating that feature. But cities, they're used to the gas company being underground. So in reality, you know, they don't see us that much above ground. So with this technology, we do need to be above ground. So we need to partner with our cities to be able to say, this is the goal, work with us, make it work in your community. And it's been very, very productive as we work with them. You know, another thing is you look at all the work we're doing from an infrastructure standpoint. The majority of our pipes are in your streets. There's probably not a street here in Orange County that doesn't have a gas line running down it.
Sure.
So, you know, we need to work with our cities to say, we need to do this work. It enhances the safety of your community. Work with us. You know, figure out, help us remove roadblocks, work with us on permitting processes so we can get in, get the work done, and get out, basically, so that we're not being a disruption.
Sure. Okay. Well, it sounds like you are engaging local electeds and cities in that whole process. Are they helping you at all communicate with their residents? Is that part of the plan?
That is absolutely part of the plan. We're very visible. We want to work with them. We want to communicate. We participate in city council meetings. If I can have a public forum, we like to tell our story. You know, basically everything and anything we want to do it in partnership. We want to make sure that they know what we're doing. I would just really look to our leaders, even as we look at how do we bridge or how do we move forward with natural gas. Again, we want to partner with our cities. You know, you start thinking about infrastructure. You know, natural gas vehicles, we need fueling stations. So when cities do that, and they say, you know what, we're going to be converting our fleets, wouldn't it be great if every single city had a natural gas fueling station? So, you know, I would challenge them to want to do that. So
Sure. And isn't some of that customer driven by what the cars? Or are you talking about mostly fleets?
yeah, well, it can be fleets, and then it's actually getting more for our customers. It's so much cheaper when you look at a gallon for a natural gas vehicle. It's half the price of when you and I go and pay $4 a gallon. So it's definitely very affordable, but what comes first? Do you get the cars or do you get the stations? So we need to work together to make sure that that infrastructure is there.
Sure. One of the things I hear you saying a lot is the word partner. And it's not something that we think of in terms of government agencies or quasi-government agencies or utilities doing a lot of, but the gas company really is doing a lot of that. Tell us why that's important to you, and does it go beyond other local governments, or are you involved in community groups as well? What's that
Absolutely.
like?
You know, for 140 years, it's absolutely part of our culture. We look at, you know, we live here, we work here, our kids go to school here. So we want to be part of the fabric of the community. So I always say we've got the best jobs in town, you know, because I get to represent a company that's so well respected in the communities. And we get to be part of them. So we're going to see, you'll see the people that work with me, they sit on Chamber of Commerce boards, they sit on your boards, they participate in your activities. We work with nonprofits because those are the things that make communities vibrant. So when we say partnership, it's not just one way. We want it to be where we're helping you and you're helping us.
Sure, excellent. So you're supporting a lot of local nonprofits, which is a priority for the gas company. Is there any way that those nonprofits then can reciprocate and help you?
Oh, they do. Actually, when we look at this year, our budget for just our working out with the community is over $4 million. So we definitely want to give back. So we're working with our communities, sitting on their boards, helping them with their programs. When it's time for I guess legislation. I mean, sometimes we do reach out and we say, hey, this is important. I think one of the things the gas company has found is we need to be the voice for some of our small businesses. So we need to be more vocal and advocate in their behalf. And sometimes we need the community to step up and help us do that. So we do, have that sharing of ideas.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is a top priority now for the gas company?
As far as priorities, I think everything we do is always going to circle back to safety. As I said, we're on almost every single street. So when we come to cities or we come to the county with projects, everything, typically I'd say 98% of our workforce is geared on keeping that system safe. So that's absolutely number one, is safety.
Sure, okay. There's a lot of talk about energy costs in California and energy supply in California, and we're seeing with the closing of songs down here in San Onofre, a big shift in how energy is supplied in California. What would you advise residents in terms of planning for the future, what to expect in terms of how the whole field of energy is going to change over the next several decades?
Well, you bring up an excellent point. I think a lot of people forget, for electricity, they use natural gas to make the electricity. So when you think of songs going down, how are we going to replace that? So what are we going to do? So are they going to bring in more natural gas to fill in that void? A lot of times we live in this wonderful area where we're able to store natural gas, typically during the summertime. So we take it and we store it, and then we can withdraw it during the winter. But as people use more and more electricity, we need to be able to, instead of storing the gas, we're using a lot in the summer. So it's going to be a balancing act. So I guess I would even say to our policymakers that there is no one right energy. It's going to take a mix, a blend. So when you're in a position where you get to regulate, it's important to set the goals. So we have very lofty goals. We've got greenhouse gas goals, we've got emission goals. Set them, but then leave it alone, and let's just see what happens with the market. As I said, there's a lot of smart people, and they're looking at all kinds of creative ways of coming up with solutions. So I think we just need to be open, embrace it, and just look forward to it. So hopefully, and do it economically. I think that's the goal, is as we do all these things, we have to make sure it makes sense, because we can't say, oh yes, we're going to be clean, but at such a price that the businesses can't do that. So there's a good balance, and I think that's where natural gas really fits in.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we have just a little over a minute left, so let me diverge from that path and say that you are such an exuberant employee for the gas company, and obviously it's a great place to work. For people who might be watching this now and are interested in a future in energy and might be interested in the gas company, how would they explore being a potential employee, getting involved in the gas company, and potentially having a career path such as yourself within the company?
Good, that's a great question. We definitely invest in our colleges. And I used to be a recruiter, so I've been with the company for 30 years, so I've had a long career here. We just look for very bright, energetic people. So it could be in the field of accounting, finance, public policy, engineering. And then, as I said, we're doing so much construction work. So, I say I have the best job, but if you were to talk to the guys out in the field, they'd say they have the best job. So we look for welders. So we go to our website, we always post our job openings. We hire internships, so we're looking for bright people that are interested in that. And we have a scholarship program. So we're currently right now working with our colleges to try to get that.
High energy for the energy company. Thank you for joining us today.
Great, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.